in the quiet shimmering glow of dawn. As the first light touched the gentle waves of the ocean, the little mermaid gazed across the sea. Her heart was filled with a deep and restless yearning, a longing for a freedom she could not yet name, a world just beyond her reach that called to her with an irresistible song. She had seen the world above, walked in it, loved in it, and lost it all. The memory was a sweet and bitter ache. Beneath the waves, surrounded by the silent, vibrant life of the coral reefs, she found herself in quiet reflection. Sunbeams danced through the clear blue water, illuminating the colorful world around her, a world that was once her everything. Her heart still ached for the surface, for the prince she had loved so dearly, for the life she had sacrificed so much to experience. Yet now, in the stillness of the deep, a new question began to form in her mind. Was it truly the prince her heart sought, or was it something else entirely? What was this profound emptiness she felt, and what could possibly fill it? As she drifted through the gentle currents, surrounded by a silent ballet of glowing jellyfish, it was as if the ocean itself began to speak to her. Not in words, but in whispers of light and feeling. A soft murmur that resonated deep within her soul. The voice of the sea, ancient and wise, seemed to flow around her, offering a truth she had never considered. True freedom, it whispered, is not found in having, but in giving. It is not about gaining a new world, but in letting go of the old. The mermaid listened, her heart slowly opening to this strange, new idea. Her mind drifted back to the prince. She saw him as she last had, standing on the deck of his ship, his beautiful princess by his side. Both of them bathed in the warm glow of celebration. She remembered the sharp, piercing pain of seeing his happiness, a happiness that did not include her. The sacrifice of her voice, the agony of her every step on land, it all felt like a foolish, wasted dream. She had given everything for a love that could never be hers, and the memory was a heavy stone in her heart, pulling her down into the depths of her sorrow. The moon cast a silver path across the dark water as she rose to the surface, the cold night air a stark contrast to the deep. In her hand, she held a sharp, enchanted dagger, a desperate gift from her sisters. Their voices echoed in her mind, a frantic, desperate plea. Strike the prince. Let his warm blood touch your feet, and you will become a mermaid again. You will live. You will come home to us. Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the salty sea foam. The temptation was immense, to end her suffering, to reclaim her life. But as she looked toward the ship, she saw the sleeping prince, and she knew she could not. In that heart-wrenching moment, as dawn threatened to break on the horizon, she made a choice. She could not purchase her own life at the cost of his. The love she felt for him, painful as it was still true. It was a love that could not cause harm. With a final resolute breath, she let the dagger fall from her hand. Watching it sink into the dark depths below, she chose mercy over revenge, selfless love over selfish pain. In letting go of her last hope, she found a strange, unexpected peace settling over her. As the first ray of sun touched the horizon, her body began to dissolve. The agonizing pain she had felt in her human feet vanished. Replaced by a feeling of lightness, she was turning into the glistening, ephemeral foam of the sea. The ocean that had been her home and her prison now gently embraced her, carrying her essence upward. Her physical form faded away, but her spirit, her soul, did not perish. Instead, it rose, weightless and free, lifted from the waves toward the morning sky. She found herself among new companions, ethereal, graceful figures, floating in the soft light of the dawn. They had wings of mist and pearl, and their voices were like the whisper of the wind. They were the daughters of the air. They welcomed her, explaining that because she had striven with all her heart for a mortal soul, and had suffered and endured. Her selfless act had earned her a new existence. Through her kindness and her ultimate sacrifice, she had been reborn, not as a mermaid, not as a human, but as something more, floating above the world. She looked down at the ocean meeting the sky, a canvas of soft, radiant colors. She could see the ships sailing, the people on the shore, the world continuing on its way. From this new perspective, she finally understood. The freedom she had so desperately craved wasn't about having legs or winning a prince's love. It was a freedom of the spirit, a freedom found in the ability to help, to forgive, and to love without expectation. It was a liberation that was deeper than any ocean and vaster than any sky. And so, the Little Mermaid story teaches us a profound truth. Sometimes, the freedom we seek is not about escaping our world or changing our circumstances. It is about rising above our own pain, our own desires, and opening our hearts to a greater love, a selfless compassion. True freedom is the grace we find when we choose to give, even when we feel we have lost everything. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If you enjoyed this journey into a timeless fairy tale, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more bedtime stories and thoughtful tales. We appreciate your support more than words can say. See you next time.